Salamence is a Pokemon that was released back in Generation 3, where it is one of the most important and central Pokemon in the competitive singles metagame. Salamence is extremely versatile. It can be used as a physical attacker, a special attacker, and even a defensive support. Salamence is a fan favorite among casual and competitive players alike, and it has been a staple of the Gen 3 OU metagame since the beginning. Let's take a look at all the different ways you can use Salamence in Gen 3 OU. But first, a pressing matter. The ancient paradox form of Sinistea, Great Mugs, as well as the future paradox form of Sinistea, Iron Mugulus, were recently sighted together at the Minions restaurant inside of Universal Studios Japan. The context of this meeting is not presently known, and the relationship between the two is unclear. However, Iron Mugulus reportedly ordered himself the Minions burger meal with a side of onion rings, which is not a good sign. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to help us uncover the deeper meaning behind this surprising turn of events. Thank you. Salamence has excellent attack and special attack stats, and a solid base 100 speed, which was quite fast back in Gen 3. Not only does Salamence provide you with some offensive firepower, it also has great defensive qualities that make it really easy to fit on teams. Flying types are even better in Gen 3 than they are in later generations. Stealth Rock does not exist in Gen 3 yet, and spikes are the only entry hazard available in the game. Flying types are completely immune to spikes, which is one of the most valuable traits a Pokemon can have in Gen 3. Flying types are also immune to Dugtrio's Arena Trap ability, which is another very important quality. Dragon typing also provides Salamence with valuable resistances to fire, grass, and water. And thanks to Salamence's excellent ability Intimidate, which lowers the enemy's attack stat by 1 stage upon switch-in, Salamence can even stomach various physical hits. Salamence has no problem finding opportunities to enter the battlefield thanks to all of these amazing defensive qualities, and from there it can start posing a threat and making progress against the enemy team. Salamence is particularly good at improving your matchup against fighting types. With Intimidate plus your fighting resistance, you can really shut these Pokemon down and swing the momentum back in your favor. The most classic set for Salamence is a Dragon Dance set. Salamence can very easily outrun the entire metagame after a single Dragon Dance and act as an effective win condition, cleaning up teams in the late game. The standard set uses Hidden Power Flying, Earthquake, and Rock Slide as physical coverage, which is able to threaten the majority of the format. Brick Break can be used as an alternative to Earthquake for fighting coverage. Bulky Tyranitar sets are able to live a +1 Earthquake from full health and KO you back. Blissey is also able to live a Hidden Power Flying and KO you back with Ice Beam. But Brick Break is a nice way to catch these Pokemon off guard with super effective damage. You can one-hit KO Tyranitar, and although you don't quite one-hit KO Blissey, you do significant damage to it and can finish it off after it takes a bit of chip. Earthquake makes you more effective against targets like Metagross and Jirachi, but if you have another teammate that can threaten these Pokemon, Brick Break can definitely be worth considering. Dragon Dance Salamence requires a little bit of support to actually work effectively, since the common Skarmory and Swampert are able to defend against it quite easily. Magneton is a great teammate for Dragon Dance Salamence, since it can trap Skarmory with its ability Magnet Pull. Tyranitar and Metagross are also good teammates. They can help apply pressure to Swampert and eventually wear it down enough to allow Salamence to finish it off and win the game. Despite Salamence having a higher attack stat than special attack, and generally being viewed as a physical attacker, its most common set in Gen 3 is actually a mixed attacking set. This Dragon Dance set, while very good, requires a lot of support to thrive. But a mixed attacking set is much more self-sufficient, requiring almost no support to function effectively. The standard mixed attacking Salamence set uses Fire Blast, Hidden Power Grass, Dragon Claw, and Brick Break. This coverage combination threatens all of the most important defensive Pokemon in the metagame. Fire Blast hits Skarmory, Brick Break hits Blissey, and HP Grass hits Swampert. Dragon Claw is good for neutral stab damage, and also allows you to hit Flygon and enemy Salamence super effectively. This set is a great choice on spike teams. These coverage moves don't quite hit hard enough to one-hit KO, but with the extra chip damage of spikes and how effectively this set can force switches, you can break through teams very effectively. Mixed Salamence is also a great lead. It matches up well against common enemy leads like Tyranitar, Skarmory, and Metagross. There are many other options to consider using on mixed Salamence sets as well. Rock Slide can be used to threaten Zapdos, Moltres, and Charizard with super effective damage. Roar can be used to rack up Spike's chip on potential switch-ins, and to phase out certain Pokemon. Wish is an interesting option, to provide your team with some healing support. This can be a nice surprise move to use after forcing an enemy out. They'll probably expect an incoming attack, but instead use Wish and heal up an ally, which could potentially be game-winning. Hydro Pump is a fun option as well. If you're in a Salamence vs Tyranitar turn 1 lead situation, a common play for the enemy is to go to Gengar against Brick Break and force you out with Ice Punch. Hydro Pump is able to cover the Tyranitar in front of you in case they stay in, and deal significant chip damage to an incoming Gengar as well. Hydro Pump can also help your team against Fire types and Claydol, who are quite common in the current metagame. Salamence can also use a Choice Band set to maximize its immediate damage output and act as a great wall breaker. This set is the least popular of the offensive Salamence sets. Since Salamence is not immune to Sandstorm, it will be vulnerable to Sandstorm chip damage without a Leftovers equipped, which can allow the enemy to wear you down over the course of a game. Locking yourself into a move can also be quite disadvantageous and allow the enemy to punish you in various ways. Choice Band sets are also a bit more prediction reliant, which is a less consistent way to play. Despite all these drawbacks, Choice Band Salamence is still a very powerful set. Even the best defensive checks to this set will struggle to take a boosted HP Flying or Earthquake. With Magneton support to eliminate Skarmory, there is pretty much no safe switch-in against Choice Band Salamence. This is a high-risk, high-reward Pokemon that can absolutely tear teams apart if used correctly. The final Salamence set I'll talk about is Defensive Wish Salamence. This set usually invests in HP and defense, and uses Wish, Protect, and Toxic. With this set, you can reliably heal yourself, wear down enemies with status, and even heal up your allies. This set is extremely sturdy against fighting types and will greatly improve your matchup against them. Salamence is also, notably, the only Wish user that is immune to spikes in Gen 3 OU, which is very valuable. The most common fourth move on this set is Flamethrower, which can hit the two most common fighting types in the game, Breloom and Heracross, super effectively, while also helping you against other useful targets like Skarmory, Forretress, and Metagross. This fourth move slot is quite flexible though. I've seen Dragon Claw and Hidden Power Flying used here, which are also valid for their general stab damage. I believe that in a healthy metagame, offensive Pokemon and defensive Pokemon should be evenly matched, and both have enough tools to handle one another. And I consider Gen 3 Salamence to be a perfect example of a healthy offensive threat. With its exploitable Time-Swell weakness to ice, and various roadblocks that prevent it from sweeping or making progress, it never feels too unreasonable to deal with. But this is also a Pokemon that has all the tools to take on its biggest counters. With so many different ways to EV Salamence and modify its sets to suit what your team needs, this is also a Pokemon that promotes creativity and metagame adaptation. We've seen the metagame shift around Salamence many times, with other Pokemon adapting to its presence and Salamence adapting back. Part of the reason why Gen 3 OU continues to evolve so much to this day, despite being over 15 years old, is because of well-designed Pokemon like Salamence being at the center. What do you think of Salamence? Who's your favorite top-tier threat in Gen 3 OU? And what would you like me to talk about next? Let me know down below in the comments, and thank you for watching. This video topic was requested by Dastardly Dwarf over on Patreon. Thank you for the support, and thank you to the rest of the patrons as well. Become a tier 2 patron to request a Pokemon for me to cover in a short, informative video just like this one, and to appear on this good end screen alongside your favorite Pokemon.
The money got different, 'cause of what I'm spending. The money got different.
Oh, it's
'Cause of what I'm
Magneton!
spending.
Whoa!
The money
KO'd
got
by
different.
one hit! It
'Cause
scattered
of what I'm
spikes!
spending. The money got different.